Diamond V Sports presents the American Sports Cavalcade. A panorama of speed, color, drama, and excitement. The American Sports Cavalcade.
There's a little bit of shine left in the paint, some sparkle in the chrome, maybe even a few ponies left under the hood. But in reality, one more uncaring owner, 10 or 20,000 more miles, and it will be the end of the road for these veterans of America's highways. Hello, I'm Paul Page, and today the end of the road will not be so pleasant for a similar group of old used hulks just down the way at the Houston Astrodome for another stop in the TNT Truck and Tractor Pull Series. My colleague and co-host Steve Evans is there, and we'll continue the story. Steve?
Thank you, Paul. I'm down on the arena floor, and it's time for my traditional inspection of this once shiny Detroit iron that soon will be crushed to pieces by the thundering wheels of monster trucks. And usually I find a couple of these old dogs that I'd kind of like to save from the pound, you know? Not tonight. These are good choices. This is Beater City. I mean, Pontiac didn't make mini cars uglier than the Phoenix. And this apparently was Dodge's imitation of a checker taxi cab. Love the color. Now, the Nova wouldn't be too bad, but it's a four-door. The Russ got it about 20 years ago. A Tijuana taxi driver wouldn't sit behind the wheel of this old Ford wagon. 58 Impala, well, you could save the clip, except the Rust has got it, too. This Buick, double ugly. There's one exception, though. I'll bet out there is somebody trying to restore a 1958 Mercedes 190 sedan. I can tell you, under all that junk, the leather seats are almost perfect. The wood dash is intact. And take a close look at this grill shell. You could have that brand new for about 10 bucks. But it's too late, Ducko, because in about 5 minutes, these babies will be flatter than a cheap pizza. Paul?
Well, Steve, you might not have to wait as many as 5 minutes, because it's time for the monster trucks to come up and do a little serious crushing of their own. Nightlife 2 up on the line. Stomper 2 will be up as well. There's the Stomper. And at the proper signal, both of these will go down and do some serious crushing of those beautiful machines that you love so much.
This is kind of a test and tune opportunity for these two monster trucks. The serious competition begins a little later on tonight. But the serious crushing, well, that's going to happen right now. That Ford Mercedes, Paul.
Did you get the grill off of the thing, Steve?
I'll tell you, if I'd had some hand tools, I'd have tried to rescue that particular piece of equipment. There they go, Nightlife 2 and Stomper.
All right, just a little mound first, and then the crushing begins. As they come down the outside lanes, you've got a series of cars, and then this U-turn. Now, remember, they're four-wheel steers, so getting around this corner requires a little skill and dexterity from the driver. And then back down the center lanes, another jump, and across more cars.
You're looking at 40,000 pounds approximately, about 1,000 horsepower. These are all supercharged engines. The monster trucks exit the Astrodome. They'll be back in just a bit. Right now, it is time for some tractor pulling.
And over on the pulling course, it's the 5,800-pound tractors. Now,
in this country, there's road courses and stock car tracks and drag strips. But here on the floor of the Astrodome is a very special track constructed of dirt and junk cars, Paul Page.
Well, the Astrodome has seen some spectacular motorsports events, the sky jump, a lot of motorcycle and motorcycle bus jumping and truck jumping here. But I don't think any quite as exciting as the monster trucks. When they make their appearance in the arena, the crowd comes to its feet. A tremendous crowd here tonight for the TNT Redman Super National.
And this is true competition. The winner goes on, the loser goes back in the truck. Bennett Clark, Powder Springs, Georgia, will be up against this man, Gary Porter. Gary is out of Wadesboro, North Carolina.
Gary Porter in the Carolina Crusher. That's the Crusher right there in the near lane. The far side is Clydesdale 2. Bennett Clark at the wheel. Now both men sitting right on that starting line, looking down at the cars and bumps ahead of them. Both of them off the line nice and even. Clark gets a little bit of advantage on the far side, and now the Carolina Crusher, Gary Porter at the wheel, gets to the turn. They're coming to the turn even.
And this is the trickiest part of the course, but both men execute brilliantly. The Carolina Crusher in the near lane, the yellow truck, has the advantage as they come down to the finish line, and he bounces to victory. Gary Porter moves on to the round of 4.
So the first run for the monster trucks complete. Now, here was really what seemed to make the difference. It was Gary Porter on the near side, got a little better angle on the hairpin turn, so he carried more speed over the first mound. That got him faster to running over the cars, and as a result, he came home as the winner of this elimination.
You know, the secret to your success there, Gary, was coming off the turn straight and getting on the cars straight on the final stretch down to the flag.
Yeah, I think most of the races will be won at the final end tonight down there in the turn.
Okay, thanks. Good job. See you next round.
Thank you.
Hey.
So Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher will move ahead in this elimination ladder of the monster trucks. Now there, in the meantime, making their appearance over on the monster truck course, Gravedigger and Bigfoot as they line up for the next elimination. It's a round of 8 that the monster trucks are moving through right now. A single ladder bracket, and Bigfoot maneuvers up into the starting position. Now let's go back over to the tractor pull line and Steve. Well, Bob, for the future, and look at this for a paint job. Is that magnificent? You're looking at the side of the cab on Gravedigger. He's waiting for his confrontation with Bigfoot. Look at that machine. Absolutely magnificent.
In the 1951 panel truck with a blown Chevrolet engine driven by Dennis Anderson of Chesapeake, Virginia. His competition, well, the heavy metal of Bigfoot, Andy Brass, the driver tonight in the Astrodome based in St. Louis, Missouri. And that is a supercharged big block Ford engine.
Bigfoot sitting over on the far side. Gravedigger, the panel truck from the near side, they get a good start, and Gravedigger takes quite a jump as he comes over the first bump. Now drifts across off the edge of the course. The Gravedigger with some serious problems as Bigfoot makes the turn at the far end. Gravedigger rolls to a stop. So Andy Brass, driver of the Bigfoot, as he has a few problems of his own, almost tips her over. Nevertheless, he comes through and wins this elimination round. So Andy Brass and Bigfoot will go on to the next round of elimination. As there's Dennis Anderson. He climbs out of the machine, sitting still and stopped at the far end of the course, looking up under the powertrain assembly there, trying to determine what went wrong. Certainly looked like something went wrong with the steering mechanism as he got it to a stop rather than drifting all the way off of the course. Steve?
Well, Andy, it was all yours against the Gravedigger. Maybe the highlight of the night for the fans. You had a brilliant start. You reacted quickly to the green.
Thanks, yeah. That's one of the things we've been trying to push on, you know, trying to get a jump off the line. A lot of these guys are running bigger motors than what we're running now, and that's what we can, if we can pull them off the line and keep with them a little bit, you know, it'll give us a good chance.
Well, you know, Dennis has maybe the biggest motor of them all, and he used possibly a bit too much of it. Got way in the air and lost it.
Yeah, Dennis does. Dennis got a brand new motor, you know, and he's trying to get used to it himself, so that's kind of an advantage to us right now.
Okay, Bigfoot standing tall.
Yeah, I hope we can do it, too.
All right.
Andy Brass, Bigfoot moves ahead. In the meantime, let's go. I'm Paul Page. You remember all those cars that Steve was checking out at the beginning of the show? Let's get an update.
Now, this should not be construed as any kind of editorial statement, but take a look at these now junkers that we focused on earlier, remember? And how about the old 58 Mercedes? She's the only one that the roof is not totally collapsed. The hood barely has a mark on it. The radiator shell is still absolutely perfect. You know what? We may salvage some of this yet.
Steve, pull that baby out of there. I think we can find a buyer for it. Back at the line, Nightlife 2. Ready to take on Wild Hair as the battle of the monster trucks continues.
Nightlife, a very glamorous looking truck. Wild Hair, on the other hand, it's just a truck. Good old Chevrolet pickup truck, but mounted about 10 feet in the air with a blown engine. And it is driven by Bobby Brain. Bob is out of Jefferson City, Missouri. Now in the real pretty Nightlife 2 is this man, Dave Wyzorek. Dave is from Grand Island, Nebraska.
There's Nightlife 2, Dave Wyzorek on the far side. Wild Hair sits in the near lane. Round 2 of the monster truck eliminations.
And something we learned a long time ago in monster truck competition. It doesn't matter how they look. What matters is how they run. But it's Nightlife 2 with an early hole shot. Here they come to the hairpin. Let's see if these drivers learned anything watching the race that came before them. Not Nightlife 2. He cut the corner. However, Wild Hair tried to take the winning line and didn't pay off for it, Paul.
No, Wild Hair was already showing a little bit of oil smoke, made the turn a little bit too wide, can't cross that line, had to back up, and now Wild Hair has shut down completely. That means that Dave Wazorek in Nightlife 2 finishes this round of elimination. We take a look at the run again. You can see Nightlife 2 got to the first line of wrecked cars a bit ahead of Wild Hair and carried that acceleration all the way to the end of the race.
Well, David, great job. Good control.
Thank you. I know I like running the right lane. Right lane's a little bit easier to run because you make an inside corner. I finally got that side, so.
Does a shorter wheelbase truck have an advantage with this tight corner?
I would say it would. It can spin around a lot faster, and things work pretty good.
See you next round, hopefully.
All right, thanks.
So who will Dave Wazorek in Nightlife 2 face? Will it be the Barbarian coming to the line now, or the machine that Barbarian is about to face, Awesome Kong?
The name's such a part of monster truck racing. And Paul, I think the same person who names professional wrestlers got involved in monster trucks.
I don't know if they spend more time working on the equipment or making up the names. Barbarian will face Awesome Kong. And earlier, Steve Evans took a look.
As monster truck racing becomes more lucrative, it becomes more serious, to the point that competitors are willing to trade sheet metal if that's what it takes to win. And it's gotten to the point that Jeff Dane was running at least one, if not all four fenders on his formerly all-steel Chevy pickup called Awesome Kong. So he stripped the whole body off it and ran it just as a bare chassis and a roll bar. But the fellow competitors and officials came along and said, Jeff, they're called monster trucks. You've got to have a full-length pickup truck body on it. So he created one out of fiberglass for easy maintenance. Now, they said length. They failed to mention to Jeff anything about width. Look at this, a skinny 44 inches, just wide enough for himself and his roll cage. And he figures sooner or later they're going to legislate him out of business with this, too, and make him go to a stock width. But he's enjoying the easy maintenance and the good visibility for now. Now, his originality is not confined just to body styles. Take a look at his search for the sponsor. It's taken on a little different wave. Might be interesting to go along for the ride.
Might be on their way to Formula One. Well, Mark Brandt, rookie driver out of Texas in the Awesome Kong, will face the Barbarian, and Jim Miller, who hails out of Nokomis, Illinois.
Well, this is a weekend Mark Brandt will always remember. He built the Awesome Kong truck, but this is the first time he's driven it or any other monster truck. He only made acceleration tests prior to this weekend. Today, the first time he's actually gone out and crushed hard and turned right. Look at the advantage. The rookie driver hard on the pedal. Now, here's the test of his ability in that narrowed up truck. Oh, beautifully done using the four-wheel steering. He has absolutely no compunctions about driving this thing.
And he drives it wildly, though the last couple of bounces got him behind a little. Now he applies the power, and the Awesome Kong is the winner, and the crowd absolutely loves it. Rookie driver, new concept machine, and it performs perfectly here tonight. Now, the Awesome Kong really got up in the air more than once on this when he laid the power, and look at that devil fly. Gets it off a little bit near his left side of the course, but Mark really pulls it back and gets it under control. And when he comes down to the hairpin, he really pitched it around. So in the next round, it will be Awesome Kong versus Nightlife 2. And the Carolina Crusher will face Bigfoot as competition in the monster trucks continues. In the meantime, over on the tractor pull course, on the monster truck course, we're into semifinal action as Bigfoot makes its appearance. The driver, Andy Brass.
And as always, Paul, the crowd reacting to the appearance of the blue Ford truck. After all, it was Bob Chandler, the owner, creator of Bigfoot, that caused this whole phenomena. And here is the Carolina Crusher. You see the size of these tremendous tires, and even with all that rubber running over all the jagged metal that makes up those junk cars, well, you can still have tremendous tire problems. Let's see if there's a hole shot for either driver. That is Andy Brass and Bigfoot, the blue truck right there. And it is Andy Brass reacting first.
Brass jumps the first set of cars. Bigfoot has been the fastest so far this evening, turning the course in just a tick over 20 seconds. Almost everybody else in the 21-second category. Carolina Crusher now strives to make up, but can't catch Bigfoot as Andy Brass and Bigfoot outdistance Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher. Just a splendid drive. The Carolina Crusher really way behind right from the start. Brass got a good start, heads up to the light. We take a look at the beginning of this run now. Andy Brass, Bigfoot, the far side, read the start well, got a good jump on the competition, and accelerated firmly to the first line of cars. Got her way up in the air. Same thing on the return. The classic style of Bigfoot, and it proved to be the winner here in the semifinals.
Andy, they just keep getting tougher and tougher. That was a close one.
Yeah, they are. They're getting a little bit better runs now. Like you say, they're getting closer. The cars are getting down, and the guys are making good, smooth runs now.
You know, it's not only are you reacting to the light quicker, this truck moves harder than any we've seen the first 50 feet.
Yeah, this one, we've done a little work to this one, and we've been doing some real good hole shots.
Some speed secrets?
Not really.
There's something Bigfoot's got that nobody else does.
So Andy Brass, Bigfoot, moves into the final round of the monster truck competition. More pulling coming up right after this. Course, because it's time once again for the monster trucks.
And this is the last race in the semifinals. The winner will go up against Andy Brass in Bigfoot. Here we see Nightlife 2, that just beautiful monster truck, the colors, the attention to detail. And there is Barbarian. You ask yourself, where is Awesome Cop? They're supposed to race Nightlife 2. They had a problem earlier. I checked on it.
Well, certainly the biggest story of the night among the monster truck action has to be this man, novice driver Mark Brad. And Mark, something happened to Awesome Kong to put an end to this dream.
Blue head gasket. I was hammering pretty hard out there. I think a little more than I had to. I think I did pretty good for my first major race. I think I did okay. I'm pretty happy, and we're going to get the truck back together.
So with Mark Brandt and Awesome Kong out, it will be the Barbarian and Nightlife 2. Barbarian in the close lane. Nightlife 2 over on the far side.
And it's Nightlife 2 away first in that far lane. Here's Barbarian trying to make up that distance. Not much air for the orange truck in the near lane, but sometimes that's good. That means the wheels are down and driving. Now let's compare driving styles on the hairpin. Oh, what a beautiful execution by Nightlife 2. Could not be done any better than that. And he is going to face Bigfoot in the final round. A convincing victory there, and the crowd getting behind that truck.
So Nightlife 2 comes across with a victory. Now watch on the far side. That seems to be the lane where everybody's gotten the jump tonight, as Nightlife 2 came off the line nice and smooth. At the same time, Jim Miller had his problems and stayed behind the entire length of the run. Here's Nightlife 2 on the home stretch now, way up in the air. That's the kind of driving the crowd loves to see.
You know, David, it appears to me that all night long you're getting more confident. You're leaving harder, leaving closer to the green light, more aggressive.
Well, I'm getting the hang of the track, and things seem to be working pretty good for me, so I don't know, I just hope it keeps going the way it is.
All right, only one more, and you know who that is.
Yeah, it's Bigfoot. I've beat him before, but I don't know. It's going to be a good race.
We're looking forward to it. Great job tonight, no matter what happens in the final.
Thank you.
Nightlife and Bigfoot. Should be a good one.
Should be a great one. But let's take a look at the pairing now for the final round of the monster trucks in front of this fantastic crowd at the Astrodome. Nightlife 2 and Bigfoot. The final round of the monster trucks coming up just a little bit later. But
only one competition remains here in the Astrodome, and not one fan is left. It's the monster truck finale, Nightlife 2, the Chevrolet truck versus the Ford machine of Bigfoot, driven by Andy Brass. And what a look you get at the undercarriage of Bigfoot. That's our fearless cameraman, Matt Eilis. An incredible shot.
And this is the kind of confrontation, Steve Evans, that the fans absolutely love. Ford and Chevrolet. Ford, the Bigfoot on the far side. Nightlife 2 pours the power here on the near side. The Chevrolet comes from behind on the first stretch as the Chevy and Nightlife 2 moves ahead.
Bigfoot had the advantage, but suddenly sees it evaporate. The Chevrolet comes over the hump first. It's Chevrolet by a car length. Still by a car length. Dave Wazorek doing an incredible job. Bigfoot comes back, but too late. the Chevy fans here at the Astrodome. They're about to tear the roof off, Paul.
Closest competition of the day as Bigfoot tries to challenge Nightlife too, but look at him. Dave Wazorek is absolutely enthralled with that victory, and so is the crowd. The closest run that we've seen. Let's take a look one more time. Bigfoot really got the jump on the green light. Nightlife 2 was now playing catch-up, but had a little better acceleration as they came to the first set of cars and grabbed the lead on the first straightaway. They made the turnaround at the far end. Nightlife 2 maintained his lead, and Dave Wazorek powered his way ahead of Bigfoot and won the race.
What a tremendous monster truck final. Nightlife, Bigfoot, too. David, a brilliant job. You know the Astrodome is loaded with Bigfoot fans, but when this Chevrolet won, they went crazy.
Well, I appreciate that. It's tough for a competitor to race, and I don't know, I just did the best I could do. And
you know, what was going through your mind? Keep it straight. Don't take chances. What?
The biggest thing that was on my mind was making this corner. It's an outside corner for me, and those are harder to make, and that was my biggest worry, was making that corner right, and evidently I must have, because it worked out real good for me.
You did it brilliantly. Again, congratulations. Tremendous final.
Thank you.
And congratulations to all our winners here at the Astrodome. Paul Page for Steve Evans. So long from Houston.
The executive producer for American Sports Cavalcade is Harvey M. Palish. Produced and directed by John B. Mullen. Promotional consideration provided for and a fee paid by the Style Auto World Championship Team. The nation's premier source of fast lane fashions, Style Auto, the champion's choice for the style of your life. And by this special offer from Diamond P.
Just incredible. You know, for 6 award-winning seasons on American Sports Cavalcade, we've shared the excitement as fearless competitors push too far. Yet, miraculously, we've watched them walk away. Diamond P has now captured all this excitement on a spectacular new home video called And They Walked Away. The mayhem of motocross, the tumbles of sprint cars, the spins of stock cars, 60 minutes of breathtaking footage. For your copy, call 1-800-453-9300 or send a check or money order to this address. Just $24.95 plus $3.50 shipping and handling. Visa and MasterCard accepted. Call 1-800-453-9300 now.
The American Sports Cavalcade is a presentation of Diamond P Sports.